Welcome and everyone to HogvilleNET Hoops YouTube. This is my in-game and will turn into a post-game live. It's the first time I've gone live on YouTube with this new format. Everything's been recorded up until this point. At least I think I'm streaming right now. So I clicked it and we'll see if in fact things are rolling here. I'm going to also try to get some of the comments tonight as we stream. I might have a better opportunity to see some of those as they come over than I have before just looking on my phone. But Arkansas really struggling, in my opinion, statistically, but also on the scoreboard. When you look at this halftime with UCA, in-state UCA, Arkansas with a 9-point lead, 43-34. And so you got to wonder, after the loss on the road at Michigan State on Saturday, would Arkansas kind of snap out of it and play its best basketball? No Trevor in Brazil tonight. And we understand that, TB, we were told that it was minor back spasms. I don't know if there's like a double secret probation suspension as well for the after the game stuff that we brought up in our show yesterday. Everybody probably saw the video post game, leaving the court, swinging the towel, hitting one of the student fans, knocking the hat off, that kind of thing. So let's not speculate too much. Take it at face value. Back spasms, minor back spasm, out tonight. So one of the things in the pregame show that I talked about was Arkansas getting back to the basics, trying to impose its will physically, maybe, try to establish a better rebounding effort, some other things that have been problematic so far. Now you have no TB, so you're down to two bigs and kind of forced really to play small ball, one big and everybody else is a wing or a guard. And so no two bigs on the court tonight, at least not yet. Of course, Nick Pringle starting the game. Malik Thomas getting his first career start as a Razorback. And so we're just really at this point looking at a 9-point lead at halftime. And Arkansas, to me, has been beaten to a lot of the hustle plays, similar to what we saw against Michigan State. It's problematic. There's really not much of a physical advantage for Arkansas that I've seen yet in this game. UCA's hanging right in there. And it's just one of those situations, again, where you're wondering, will the Razorbacks start to play, a better brand of basketball? Because did a lot of good things in the first half against Michigan State, not so much the second half. And then here we are tonight looking at an Arkansas team really struggling with UCA. Again, a 9-point advantage. Arkansas led by as many, I believe at one point, 15 points, 22-7. Half of those points, a credit to Carter Knox, who snapped out of his funk anyway offensively, fouled a three-point shooter on a make, had a bad turnover, but Carter Knox hot shooting from the field. 4-4 from three is what he started out. The last time he did that, he had 20 points in Arkansas' Sweet 16 loss to Texas Tech back in March of last year. 20 points and made all 4 of his three-point attempts. So he started out hot. We're seeing a version of Carter Knox offensively that we haven't seen yet, not in the exhibition season, certainly not, didn't play against Southern due to his own injury, a toe sprain, and then he was back in the lineup playing off the bench against Michigan State. Not his night offensively, did some good things in the first half in the hustle play department, but I think struggling overall in that game, and at least offensively he's come out hot in this one. And so let's look at him statistically right now. Carter Knox, 4 of 5 overall from the field, but made all 4 of the three-point attempts. Stepped to the foul lines, hit 2 of 2 there, so 14 points. Leading Arkansas on the glass as well with 7 rebounds. So if you want to look for a top performer, I think everybody else has been kind of ragtag. The only other player I might mention that hasn't been is DJ Wagner. He played well against Michigan State. He's doing okay, at least efficiency-wise. 2 of 3 from the field, made his only three-point attempt. Shot the ball well on low volume from 3 against Michigan State. Has made both of his free throws as well. We know the free throw line's been an adventure for Arkansas, especially in the exhibition season. Shot it really well against Southern, not so good against Michigan State. So you're not sure which free throw shooting team's going to show up. But so far, Knox and Wagner have stepped up and made all of their free throws. So Wagner's second on the team in terms of efficiency. He's also got 3 assists and 2 rebounds. 7 points. But your second leading scorer, Malik Thomas, true freshman, getting his first start. 3 of 9 from the field at halftime. 2 of 7 from 3. That includes he does have 5 assists and 4 rebounds. So it's a bit of a pace where Arkansas probably done its best work in transition. The half courts looked a little awkward for the most part. I think there's a lot of opportunities Arkansas is missing to play through the low post, get more paint touches, and then read off of those paint touches. It seems like there's been a lot of mono on mono play and a lot of 3-pointers taken. In fact, Arkansas is 15 of 31 overall from the field, 48.4%. Half of those shots, nearly half, are 3-point attempts. So in the pregame yesterday, I said, this is a team playing against UCA. You could probably survive even if you took 33s even in the game, even though I think Arkansas should stay away from that and really get back to the strengths of the team. Well, so far they're on pace to shoot 30, and it's not as comfortable as I thought it would be at halftime. Again, only a 9-point lead. UCA's really been tough here, and kind of stepped face to face with the Razorbacks in the first half. Not on the scoreboard, but they're not far from being in this game. I mean, they were down 7 at one point after being down 15, and Arkansas gets a dunk from Ewan in half court to get that lead push from 7 up to 9 right before the break. But you look at, again, Thomas has got some stats here, but I think the shooting and some of the question marks with the decisions on shot selection. Darius Acup Jr. has 2 field goals. He's 2 of 7 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. So those two combined for 4 of 21 from 3 against Michigan State. Tonight, they're a combined 2 of 10. So if you do the math on that, that's a combined 6 of 31 in the last 3 halves of basketball. They're taking a lot of threes, and they're not making a lot of threes. And so, there's more on the table that these guys could be doing through their creativity to not settle, and find other ways to get shots moving off the ball, and then you're promoting good ball movement if you're getting off of it, and then finding spots to get to, and maybe the ball comes back to you, and you get a good scoring opportunity off of that. We're seeing a lot, again, mano a mano shot creation, and a lot of it's being launched outside that arc. Malik Ewan off the bench did not, you wondered if since TB was out of the lineup would he start? No, instead Arkansas went 3 guards, a wing, and Carter Knox and Nick Pringle at the 5. And so Malik Thomas gets that first career start. Ewan off the bench. Ewan 3 of 4 from the field, 2 rebounds, 6 points. Just looking around here, Pringle made his only field goal attempt, 3 rebounds. Arkansas is +7 on the glass in this one so far, but the same problems on the offensive glass continue to be problems. -2 in that department, 6 to 4. UCA is winning the second chance points based on winning that offensive rebound battle, almost doubling Arkansas up there 9 to 5. Bench scoring favor of UCA here 11 to 7. Both teams have 12 points in the paint. That is malpractice on Arkansas in the first half, not being dominant in the paint. They were dominant against better competition in exhibition season in the paint. They were, dominant again against Southern. Michigan State was a different story. And here we are again. TB, not your most physical guy, but he's out, and I don't see a reason why Arkansas is not getting more into that paint, attacking that rim. I mean, you only shot 8 free throws in the first half. You're bigger, longer, more athletic, and should have some physical advantages at certain positions, and yet you're not taking the ball and attacking directly into the teeth of that defense. Instead, you're doing a lot of settling. Again, a 9-point lead against UCA. Make of it what you will. Arkansas should win this game, but we got a second half coming up. And before we get to halftime, let's hit some recruiting. I said there'd be some key recruiting updates. I didn't really promise any intel. Oh, we're getting some of the comments now. Mitchell, this team looks sloppy tonight. I thought they had it better than this. Very disappointed. I mean, it is. I think that's a disappointing first half. This is ragtag looking. The freshmen look like they didn't figure out a whole lot from the previous game, and Arkansas looks soft. Bear Creek, Montana, checking in. UCA grad, hog by birth. All right, cool. Wishadox, okay, CW Shadow, CWI Shadow. I'm trying to read some of these. This is all they got. Money not spent. Good at all. not rebounding, just a sloppy team. Yeah, they're key. I mean, teams get on the offensive glass against Arkansas and they win those second chance points. That's a big reason UCA is within a double-digit deficit at 9 at the break. You look at fast break scoring. That's the one advantage Arkansas has, 15-7. But they got to start imposing their will against teams like this and be blue collar. Again, even at points in the paint, getting beat on the offensive glass, giving up again too many second chance opportunities. UCA leads in the blocks 2-1. How does that happen? 4-2 in steals advantage UCA. I think the big difference here, UCA is taking a lot of shots. They've missed a lot of open threes. The Bears have. But I was going to get to recruiting here, and then I started reading some of the comments. At least I can do that a little better this year. Still blurry without the glasses, but the type is a little thicker, bigger. So real quick in recruiting, as the second half has begun now, Arkansas possession of the ball. Looks like there was a foul. Early signing period, it's a week long. It starts tomorrow, November 12th, Wednesday through the 19th. So a couple of things. We know Arkansas has 2 commitments. Let's get through that quickly. J.J. Andrews, the 5-star wing at a Little Rock Christian Academy, is having a morning ceremony at the school to make it official, sign his paperwork to be a Razorback. I plan to be there, not far from where I live, and so I plan to be there and likely going to live stream that. So anybody that wants to tune in and be there live with me, you may not be here in person, but you'll get to watch it and see him. It'll be a ceremony, so it'll be pretty neat, and you'll get to see that. And then Abdou Toure reached out to me today and told me, and I put this out on Twitter, that Arkansas' second and only other commitment so far for the class of 2026 reached out to say he's doing his signing on Saturday morning, so November 15th, smack dab in the middle of that early signing period. Okay, so I can't do play-by-play. That's prohibited, but I will tell you Knox makes both free throws. Arkansas goes back up 11. And then on the other end, a long three is missed by UCA. And lo and behold, the Bears get an offensive rebound and a putback opportunity, foul on Arkansas. So they're going to exchange free throw trips here. UCA with a chance to cut it back down under 10, back to a 9-point deficit. More of the same in the first minute or the first half minute of the second half. All right, so Abdou Toure, the 6'5" wing out of West Haven, Connecticut, there at Notre Dame High School up there, top 30 national high-level 4-star player. Going to sign his paperwork to officially become a Razorback on Saturday morning, again, November 15th. And so those are 2 that you expect to get this done. We knew they were getting it done early, but now we know the particulars on when, where, and now it'll be wrapped up. And the next thing they get through their senior seasons and they're moving on to campus either in late May or early June to start their careers as Razorbacks. That's what's going to happen. But one more player that we're really keeping an eye on, and that's Baba Aladdin, class of 2026 as well. National top 10 rated 5-star, previously the number 1 player in the 2027 class. We've said for a while that Arkansas is the leader there. We've got a couple of sources that have told us that Arkansas is the leader. The most recent source that told me that also said not only is Arkansas in the lead, but this is going to get done in the early period. And then I came back on. We reported that, and then I came back on the last intel segment I had. I said I have another source telling me that Maryland has upped its NIL bag. And I didn't say that was enough for me to back off thinking Arkansas is a lead, only that, it impacted the strength of my confidence level of Arkansas being the lead. So whereas I was at an 8.5 on a scale of 1 to 10 that I reported the previous episode, the last time we were on, was it yesterday? It seems like a year ago. I lowered that to a 7.5, from 8.5 to 7.5, based on 2 things: the Maryland information and also the fact that there was no public announcement yet that this was going to be a decision made in time for the early period. Whereas his dad's been telling me we don't know yet, early or late. And I said, my source says it's going to happen early. I believe it will, but until that's known, it impacts how I view the percent, the scale. So now that I know, and I put this out earlier today, in fact, Baba Aladdin is going to make his commitment announcement in the early period. It's going to be on the final day of the period is when the announcement will be made. I won't be surprised if he's already actually done his paperwork and it's been certified prior to that. But who knows? But that's the final day of the early period. So he could literally commit and sign on the same day, that's okay too. Who knows exactly how that goes down, but um, right now, having said that, now knowing that this is going to be an early period situation, I'm back to increasing my scale back to, I'm going to 8. Only because of the late push by Maryland with an increased NIL do I not raise it all the way back to the 8.5. You're saying, well, what does it matter? It's still a strong indicator at 7.5, 8. It's still, I'm strongly in the camp that this is going to be a win for John Calipari and the Arkansas Razorbacks in this recruiting war for Bob Alladot. Remember, the Final Four include the Hogs, also includes Kentucky, Maryland, Georgetown. Again, outside of Arkansas, sort of the latest buzz out there is that maybe Maryland can get this done. There are some that think Maryland's in the lead. There have been others that said Georgetown was. Kentucky can flip on a dime and do something crazy with NIL. I doubt that happens, and it's probably too late in this decision. I feel like it's most likely been baked in for a while. I've said that before previously as well. When Calipari shut down recruitment of the Ratliff twins weeks ago, let the Chase Foster thing go without a visit. Arafandiani, when it became clear that wasn't happening. And we said all along, when based on Calipari's moves, he felt great, supremely confident in one or both of Arafandiani or Baba Alladot. And as it turns out, Alladot takes the visit. I had a source before he came in for his weekend visit to Arkansas in late October, that said, for the Cincinnati exhibition game, that said Arkansas is the team to beat. And that was a day or two prior to him actually arriving to campus. And then again, most recently, we had the source that came back and said, yeah, Arkansas is not only in the lead, they're getting this done early. So it's getting done early. And again, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm an 8. With J.J. Andrews and Abdu Torre, I'm a 9.999 until they sign, until I see it. And again, that stuff starts shaking out tomorrow with J.J. Andrews and Abdu Torre on Saturday. Bob Alladot, you're going to have to wait till Wednesday, November 19th, the final day of the early signing period. But I believe he's going to be a Hog. I've been saying that, but this getting it done early thing makes me feel even a little bit better about it based on what my source said that it was going to happen early. And not wait till the spring. That's great. A lot of these high-level 5-star guys can do just that, and several of them will. We're not going to revisit some of the other players Arkansas's on right now, as several of those, at least up until this point, seem to be spring decisions. If that changes, and we've talked about little signs we've seen that maybe that'll change, then we'll talk more about that. We're going to focus on the rest of this game right now. It's really an ugly performance so far for Arkansas. I haven't been glued to the action to start the second half as I've been looking ahead here and talking about recruiting. But so far, this has been a struggle bus for Arkansas against a team it really shouldn't have that much trouble with. So 17-52, I guess we've got a review going on. But coming out of it, this game is still tight with just over 17 and a half minutes to play. It is still anybody's ball game. It is, Arkansas has done very little to improve where it stands in this game. UCA has the ball coming out of the timeout. All right, so Arkansas is on offense now. And, UCA's undersized players are just getting into Arkansas defenders, scoring right in front of the rim. Just happened again. So Arkansas is only up 10, 47-37. We've got another stoppage in play here. This is not one where you look at it so far and go, well, Arkansas really turned the page after the result against Michigan State, the loss, and some of the trouble areas. Arkansas turned a page and got back to what should be strengths. I just not seen it. Transition, I guess you could say, yeah. All right. So maybe Arkansas gets going now. UCA back on offense, so I'll obviously not giving play-by-play here, but Arkansas just had a good offense possession. Another three-point shot attempt, but Acuff gets that three to go. Arkansas up 50-37. It's just too easy for teams to navigate against Arkansas's interior defense right now. Malik Ewan starts the second half, and just so far, UCA's gotten some good looks around the basket. Just missed a bunny. Uh, yeah, next offensive possession, turnover. Arkansas was down. They were doubled up in turnovers in the first half. Only 3 committed by UCA. Arkansas had 6. Right now, it's looking at it here again, early second half. Uh, it's Arkansas now has another turnover based on that offensive foul by Malik Ewan inside, trying to push off instead of just sealing his man with his body to get position on an inch on a pass for Malik Thomas. So 7-3 advantage for UCA in the turnovers. Points off turnovers, UCA 8-2. 8-2. Arkansas continues to shoot threes. This was a transition opportunity. After UCA failed to score on its possession after the Ewan offensive foul, Arkansas kicks to the right corner, and Acuff is now a little bit hot. He's hit another 3 from the corner on ball movement. Arkansas's 9 of 18. The percentage is great, but Arkansas just gave up an easy score inside. Acuff's on fire right now. So he has scored Arkansas's last 9 points, all on threes. So he's hit 3 of his last 3, and it's 56-39. Arkansas now it's a dead ball out of bounds underneath Arkansas's basket. The Razorbacks got a steal, and Acuff threw a lob pass in transition to absolutely nobody, but the ball got deflected out. I think it's out on UCA. So we've got an under 16-minute timeout now. Here's a time to visit a little bit. Arkansas expanded the lead. I'm still not seeing as much as I'd like. I mean, it's great to see guys get hot from 3. At the end of the day, Arkansas is going to have to be able to play in more ways, play in the paint, throw the ball inside. They just don't have that yet. And these are the kind of games where you could make it an emphasis, and Arkansas just hasn't done it. Now, when a team plays zone and tries to take things away, you shouldn't just turn down every open shot, which includes some threes. But there are ways to attack a zone and try to get into the paint, try to get in the soft spots of that, and really work a team physically. And the physical parts of the game so far, again, it's been advantage UCA in a lot of ways. And so far, early in the second half, they've gotten some good looks around the basket. It's not been not like Arkansas is playing suffocating defense. I think the turnovers and the offensive rebounds, Arkansas is not turning UCA over until that last possession. Arkansas did. But Arkansas still -6 in points off turnovers, 8-2. Second chance points, UCA now +7, 12-5. Doubled up Arkansas in offensive rebounds, 8-4. And Arkansas shooting 53% from the field, 19 of 36, 52.8%. Now 10 of 19 from 3. So they've taken 17 2-point shots, 19 from 3. And like I said in yesterday's pregame, I think Arkansas needs to get back to what it's best at. But if a team takes 33s, they'll probably win anyway. That's and they're on pace to shoot more than 30. So I guess they're going to say forget the notion that we have an identity yet. We're still trying to fill out this pattern of taking excessive threes or excessive amounts. Now in both halves, on pace to do it again. In Arkansas tonight, better at the free throw line, 8 of 10 so far, so 80%. You ride with that all day long. Pringle's 1 of 2. Billy Richmond 1 of 2. Again, Knox now 4 of 4. He's up to 16 points. Acuff all of a sudden shooting 5 of 10 from the field overall, 3 of 6 from 3. So he was 0 for 3. Now he's 3 of 6 because he's made his last 3. So improvement there, and just in terms of what we're seeing here, Wagner now 1 of 2 from distance. And Arkansas comes out of the timeout up 56-39. This is matches, I believe. No, Arkansas was up 22-7 in the first half. I think that was the biggest lead, 15 points. So this is the team's biggest lead. And let's see if Arkansas can expand on it moving forward here down the stretch. And we've seen, I think it was I don't know if it was year one or the second year under the Eric Patrick Musselman era when Arkansas was hosting UCA. It might have been the first year, and that was an Elite Eight season. And UCA hung in the game with Arkansas at least for a half, and maybe a little bit into the second half as well. And Arkansas ended up, winning going away. But it took a while to shake this team. So this has similar vibes and feel to it so far. Uh, Kentucky fans are going to laugh at us tonight. Someone's on here saying KC Hog Fan 21. They said TB had back spasms, uh, but we all know the real reason. Yeah, I mean, he might be on double secret probation. They're using back spasms and kind of keeping it in house. That you need to sit this one out, big fella, and let's get things right. All right, Malik Thomas missed a three a few moments ago. It's a dead ball right now, so I could tell you what happened well after it happened. But Carter Knox gets the offensive rebound, gets a putback. This is where Arkansas needs to get better. Eliminate this stuff on the other end, do a much better job of it, and then add some of your own. Quit losing these battles and second chance points and offensive rebounds. So Knox and one, if my math is correct, he continues on his big night, 19 points, I believe now. So offensively, he's been really good. Another interior score. I mean, right in front of the basket for UCA. And now you've got Nick Pringle in the game, and Arkansas is just not. I don't know if we lost connection here or not. I've got my. See if we're connected. It says connected and secure. I don't know if I accidentally hit something or. Yeah, but Knox continues now. Yeah, 19 points, 5 of 7 from the field, 4 of 5 from three, made all 5 free throws, and he's got a double-double, 10 rebounds. So that last offensive board got him into double-double range. And so Arkansas took its biggest lead at 19 points. Let's see if my math, or 20 points, excuse me, on that and one. And now I mentioned UCA the time before, scored right in front of the basket. Ty Robinson, who I covered in high school out of Lake Hamilton, he is a 3-point shooter, but he's pretty athletic. Sophomore guard at, again, Lake Hamilton High School in Hot Springs. Had a nice little 8-footer in the paint. No contest, no physicality to get into him. Challenges, with a body. Easy pickings. But it's an 18-point lead, and we're about 14 minutes to go. Ty Robinson again gets an offensive rebound, and then just beats Arkansas to the offensive rebound, and then gets another close range shot. So he's having a good second half. And here's UCA was down 20, now down only 16. They've scored the last 4 points. Let's see if Arkansas continues to hunt the 3-shot, playing up against a matchup zone. A-cuff to Malik Thomas. He shoots a 3, misses. Nobody stops the ball in transition. Defense, Cam Hunter from Bryant, Arkansas. All these Arkansas kids. I cover a lot of Arkansas high school games, spring and summer grassroots. Every single one of these kids from the state of Arkansas, including Isaiah Seeley on the Razorback bench, and at least 5 of these kids for UCA, I've seen play for years at the high school level. When they were basically crawling out of junior high and getting into high school. But Cam Hunter's a player that was once upon a time privately committed to Arkansas. But when Eric Patrick Musselman was trying to get his exit to the left coast, while he was still hanging on those last few weeks as head coach, he accepted the commitment from Cam Hunter and held him off on making it public, probably because he knew that he wasn't going to be around much longer. But Cam transferred to Wisconsin, back to UCA where he played his first 2 seasons. He's a really good player. He's done some good things in this game. So UCA has scored the last 6 points after he made 2 free throws after getting fouled in transition after Arkansas didn't get back. It's now a 14-point game, 59-44. UCA hanging around. Another 3-point attempt in the Malik Thomas, Darius A-cuff exchange on the perimeter. No attempt to penetrate. Again, A-cuff missed that one. Man, this is just ragtag, really. Arkansas kind of blew another opportunity in transition with an errant pass by Acuff. Um, Malik Thomas gets the offensive or get the ball saved in by Billy Richmond III. Malik Thomas gets fouled on a close range shot attempt. He'll shoot free throws. Just under 13 minutes to go. The story in this game, if you say, well, why is Arkansas winning with some of the negatives you're getting into? UCA is 4 of 30 now from 3-point distance. Arkansas 10 of 24, so 41.7%. And you look at that disparity and say, well, that's the difference on the scoreboard. But it's also the difference, I think, well, Arkansas is not leading more because they're not playing any kind of a bully ball the other team. You got guys like Knox and even Richmond to some degree, Pringle. To me, Ewan, yeah, he's a finesse player, but at 6'10", get him posting low against the smaller team and dump it into him and let him get an easy close-range shot. There's just nothing going on here in terms of Arkansas imposing a physical will. That just hasn't happened all night. Becoming a broken record talking about it. Man, in and out on another UCA shooting a lot of threes because it's not going to be able to do a whole lot to initiate offense going right at Arkansas in the paint, but off some clever passes and then just hitting the offensive glass, being in the right place at the right time. And Arkansas not owning the paint, teams are taking advantage of it. UCA again tonight, that's an example of it. Speaking of Isaiah Seeley, the Springdale freshman, getting some playing time in both halves. The eighth man tonight with TB out. So I'll tell you what's going on here after he's finished shooting free throws, because I can't do that live in real time as it's happening. And but I want to thank everyone for joining me on HogvilleNET Hoops. This is probably not the performance you wanted tonight for us to come in here and talk about it as it's happening. Probably not the performance you want to have and then talk about it even after the game. Not that Arkansas can't close these last 12 minutes lights out and win going away and get this thing going in a better direction. Arkansas looked like it was about to force a turnover after Seeley made both free throws and got in the scoring column. And kind of Keystone Cobbs running in the wrong places. Now we've got a long rebound by Seeley. Off-balance runner in transition. Arkansas has kind of smoked several transition opportunities. As good as it's been in the fast break this season, first half against Michigan State, not in the second half against the Spartans, but against, again, this level of competition, Arkansas shouldn't be having so many malfunctions trying to run its transition. Malik Thomas with a pull-up three. There was never a pass in that possession. He hits it. So Arkansas now back up by 20, 65-45. It's a 5-0 run here. Back to a 20-point lead with just over 11 minutes left. Yeah, so Arkansas's three-point percentage and all that's going to look really, really good. I don't know how it benefits this team moving forward. All right, really nice transition finish there. One of the things that Isaiah Seeley, because he's 6'7", his instincts as a passer are really, really good. And that time, instead of trying to attack where they had a numbers advantage, Acuff was ahead. And so we got a timeout now. UC had to take one. Arkansas, I think, now has its biggest lead at 22, 67-45. But a nice pass from Seeley to Acuff, who split a couple of defenders. And got a little layup off the glass there in transition. So right when we were complaining about Arkansas kind of blowing some transition opportunities, the Razorbacks get a really nice finish out on the break after a long rebound. And now Arkansas, biggest lead of the night, 10:55 to play, 67-45. You look at it statistically. Again, Knox with that double-double, still at 19 and 10. He hasn't taken another shot after that and one finish. Acuff up to 15 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Malik Thomas, 12 points, 6 assists to lead the team, 5 rebounds. Always a strong rebounder. So if you look at those guys combined, they're 1 assist away from a triple-double combined, right? But if you combine their three-point shooting, Acuff, fairly efficient. 3 of 7. That's over 40%. That's fine. He made 3 in a row. Thomas just hit one to get to 3 of 10. I'm sure he's not finished taking them. And so if he hits, 1 or 2 more and doesn't, miss a whole lot more, it won't be the most inefficient night for him from distance, but he's 4 of 13 overall. But those guys continue to take most of the shots for the Razorbacks. They're shot creators, they're shot takers. Even when they didn't necessarily create a great shot, they're still going to take a shot. And so there's not been a whole lot of, I thought there might be a governor put on that, on it tonight, based on some of Calipari's post-game comments about guys not finding teammates, not setting teammates up, taking, not only deciding taking their own shots, but opportunities missed and taking some bad shots. And we've seen a lot of that tonight. I mean, Arkansas should win this game in a blowout, and it looks like it's heading that way. Doesn't mean that we can't complain and point to things that Arkansas needs to be better at. I think that's fair. It's on the table, and it's what's expected from this team to if you're going to talk about a final weekend kind of caliber talent, bringing back retention, having a lot of veterans, not as many freshmen, even though the freshmen are your best scorers, you want to see Arkansas start to show some maturity. And these are even against games like this where it doesn't matter that you had to be that locked in and that focused. You're probably going to win by double digits. But we saw the result, a 9-point lead at halftime, cut it down early in the second half. Arkansas, 10-point game with about 13, 14 minutes left. Then Arkansas starts hitting some of those threes, and now they're on a run. So again, we'll see how this ends. All right, so they've tilted the floor. Wagner entry pass to Pringle. He didn't get a deep low block. Double came, and he had to pass it, but he did make a skip pass. Anytime a double comes, it means you usually can make a skip pass because somebody's open, and then the defense has to work even harder to get back in position. But Arkansas ends up shooting another 3, a corner attempt by Isaiah Seeley. Looked good, but it didn't go in, so it bounded off high. UCA fails to score. Arkansas again in transition. DJ Wagner. That was a tough layup attempt. He'll make those most of the time. So we're under 10 minutes now, 9:45. Just to repeat things, J.J. Andrews recruiting, getting his signing done tomorrow in the morning. I'll be there at Little Rock Christian Academy. Abdou Toure is going to get his done Saturday morning, in case you're just joining us and didn't hear this a little bit earlier, closer to when the second half began. And then Baba Aladon, we put it out early today, is going to make his announcement. Uncommitted. Final 4, Arkansas, Kentucky, Maryland, Georgetown. I think it's down to Arkansas and Maryland. I've got Arkansas on a scale of 1 to 10. I've got him as an 8. That's my confidence level that Calipari gets this done. But his announcement's going to be on the final day of the week-long early period, Wednesday, November 19th. So the period starts tomorrow, right? That's the first day, Wednesday, November 12th. JJ's getting it done on day 1 in the AM, getting it out of the way. About the midway point of Abdou Toure, Saturday. My feeling is Arkansas is getting all the dot, and they've spaced this out so each young man gets gets a little bit of a little extra shine outside of the commitment. With Aladon, it's both a commitment and probably the ceremony that he makes his commitment announcement. He'll probably do the paperwork at that ceremony because it is the last day of the period. And even if it's just a performative thing and he's actually already done the paperwork, for all intents and purposes, as far as the fans and the public know, that's the day he's committing and signing. So he'll probably do a duel, right? I mean, J.J. Andrews and Toure both had ceremonies where they committed. Now they're having ceremonies where they sign. Aladon's probably doing a 2-for-1 is my point. Arkansas loving them some 3-point attempts tonight, ain't they? They keep going up. Arkansas now 11 of 27. They've got 49 shot attempts altogether. 11 of 27 is 40.7%. That's elite, especially at that volume. But this is the kind of competition where you can get away with it. And I just don't understand. Most of Arkansas' season is going to be against the kind of quality where if they're taking 25 or more threes, I've said it often, I said it before they did it against Michigan State when we did our pregame before that one. They're in trouble. And so why aren't you practicing what is going to be your best way to play? I don't get it. Maybe they just want to cut loose tonight. It's Veterans Day. Maybe they're celebrating. It's a federal holiday. I don't know. I can't tell you. I sound like a negative Nancy. I sound like a Karen. I sound like the grumpy old man. Get out of my yard, you kids. I mean, anybody disagree with me? I want to see it in the comments. Look, I like the way the floor space in the modern game in a lot of ways, especially at the NBA level. Some of these teams on the college level that do a good job with it. There's more than one way to skin a cat. But Arkansas didn't build this roster to skin the cat this way. And like I said, you can live with it against this level of competition, but why aren't you, again, applying what your best way to play is against this level of competition so that it becomes muscle memory and it becomes habit forming. It becomes how you play. Again, the freshmen, I don't want them bashful and not taking some shots, but because I think they're really good and they are Arkansas's best offensive players. But there's a whole lot of good offense they could be getting into right now, including how you deal with playing off the ball, being in a position where you receive a pass and playing off. You started with your creativity off the bounce, and now the ball's coming back to you. All this stuff, there is some element of that, just not enough in my opinion. Malik Thomas back in the game. Boom! All right, Arkansas is going to exceed 33s tonight. He hit the three. 12 of 28, Arkansas up to. I might as well stop complaining about it and now track what could be one of the best three-point shooting nights for Arkansas in a while. But it put Arkansas up 25. Then the Razorbacks get scored on the following possession. Then they turn it over after UCA scores. And Luke Moore, another kid I've covered for years out of Little Rock Central, played with the Arkansas Hawks spring and summer program for years, as did Cam Hunter. He gets a steal on an errant pass, trying to get over midcourt, and he goes in and scores. Malik Thomas fouls him. He'll be shooting a free throw. So UCA has a chance here to get back within 20. Arkansas was up 25. Now it's 21. A free throw by Luke Moore. Great kid, great family. All these young men, they are. I mean, I don't have anything negative to say about any of them. And I've seen them in a lot of different scenarios outside of just games. I go to a lot of practices, a lot of workouts, with their demeanor off the court with their teammates. You see all that stuff when you travel with some of these teams. And I always like to see the development of players, not just on the court, but how they, mature. And, that's why I interview a lot of players, give them those opportunities to experience that. And, because at the level that a lot of these guys are playing, they're going to be in situations where they're interviewed a lot, especially when they get to college and start playing at that level. So my part in it is fun, but watching the development of players coming up is really cool. And to see UCA have so many players represented from the state. Acuff with a little drag scoop there going down the lane. That looked like similar to the shot he tried to take late against Michigan State, where a 6'11" guy bodied him just enough to keep him off line and the ball never hit the rim. Probably not the best idea to do that, but that drive was a little similar, other than the defensive presence and the opponent and the lack of size and so forth. 22-point lead, 72-50. We're going to that under 8-minute timeout. Sloppy playing. They are not good yet. Think they are going to be disappointment this year. Look at this game. Get ready, fans. Okay, that's Mitchell. Mitchell's had a lot to say tonight. He's got a lot of comments in here. Any insight on when Cal didn't recruit Aiden Chronister? Why? Why Cal didn't recruit Aiden Chronister? Yeah, I mean, he's identified the players in this class of 2026 that he wants to build with. He's identified the in-state kids. I mean, Chronister, I'm coming up Friday for the Arkansas-Sanford game. I'll be in Fayetteville. I've been invited to attend his signing ceremony with Missouri. Recent commitment there. He plays at the New School. That's the name of the school, the New School in Fayetteville. And so I'll be in Fayetteville Friday anyway, so I may be able to get up there to do that. Depends on what other things I've got going on, but I may go do that. I accept that invitation. But Chronister, played at Rogers for a while, then transferred to Sunrise Christian Academy. Now he's back in Northwest Arkansas at the New School for his senior season. And Calipari has offered the kids in state that he believes can help. Just a recent commitment from a really good guard in the same class out of Little Rock Parkview. Also left the state to play and back this year for a senior season. Jacob Lanier just committed on Sunday. Was it Sunday? Yeah, it was Sunday. Committed to Nebraska out of the Big Ten. TCU got in on him late. Nebraska did a good job. Fred Hoiberg, they did a good job recruiting him over the long haul. Ole Miss recruited him, and he had an offer to Ole Miss, but he ends up signing with Nebraska. It was another player that Arkansas really stayed cool on in state. The young man is a sniper. Both of them can shoot, but in both scenarios, you're talking about high major talents that Calipari didn't identify as a need for what the Razorbacks want to do. It was Isaiah Seeley in the 2025 class. In this 2026 class, he limited it to J.J. Andrews, who is the top-rated player in the state and one of the top 10 in the country. I think he's top 5 nationally. He's a 5-star. He's signing with the Hogs tomorrow. Anthony Spratt Jr., we brought the intel forever that Calipari really liked him. We broke the news that Arkansas offered him. And he's already been on an unofficial visit, already been to campus. And so, there's a player that Calipari's identified, plays at Benton High School, going into his sophomore season, again, class of 2028. A little further down the road, but that's another one Calipari identified as a player that can help Arkansas and be part of the program. It's a good question. Why didn't Calipari pursue him? Because he is going to go to an SEC team, Missouri. That's the commitment. And so he'll be signing on Friday. Well, a few moments ago, Malik Thomas made a lob to Pringle. It wasn't quite where he could dunk it. He came down, and when he gathered to go back up, UCA reached in and stripped the ball away. No foul, out of bounds for Arkansas. So Arkansas just really hasn't been in a half-court set. It's had some drives down the paint and a couple of finishes. But outside of that, just not an imposing kind of, we're going to beat you in the paint all night. And we're going to look at points in the paint here in a second just to make that point. Acuff with a little 17-foot mid-range shot off the inbounds play. That was nice. Arkansas is going to run a lot for these guys on out-of-bounds plays. When games are tight at the end, if they're going to take the shots, and they are the best shot creators, Malik Thomas and Acuff, you just hope they figure out to take better shots than they did against Michigan State. Or if the help comes and a teammate comes open and there's a better shot, get off the ball and set that up. That's just something they need to do. Points in the paint. I hadn't looked at the stats in a while. I'm just sitting here talking about it, complaining about it. +4 for UCA, 24-20. Shooting a lot of threes if you're Arkansas. That's part of it. Just about everything you've got in the paint, most of it's been in transition. Arkansas went in fast break 23-12, and they only have 20 points in the paint. Most of that transition is responsible for what Arkansas is getting in the paint. They're just not getting a lot in there in the half court. And this is just the kind of game that they've chosen to play, and this is not the kind of game I think you'll see a whole lot of when the competition's better. I just don't think this is the identity of this team or what will help this team win games against good competition. But it is a Tuesday night, and we're still technically early November, and you're playing a bye game in Bud Walton Arena. So do it how you want to do it, fellers. Pringle at the line. He's got another free throw. He made the first one. I don't know that I've seen him make back-to-back free throws yet in a Razorback uniform. I don't want to jinx it, but I probably did. Hold my hand up to the screen. You saw it. Nailed them both. Good for you, Nick. I thought Nick Pringle and DJ Wagner both played well against Michigan State. For the most part, I thought both of those guys did. I thought they were the only two in that game. And you still had a chance to win it, despite all your struggles. Pringle with a defensive rebound. Hallelujah. Little two-man action. And the pitch back to Malik with another three going up. Pringle runs off that pick, gets around the basket. He gets the offensive rebound and dunks it home. This is the kind of stuff, if you're going to shoot threes, and I know they're down to 2 bigs tonight, but Arkansas's missed more than it's made, right? That's how it is in three-point shooting typically. And so you shoot that many, you want to see more of that. Go ahead and get a second chance opportunity off some of that. Uh, Arkansas trying to stay relatively close. Second chance points still +4 for UCA, 14-10, +2 on the offensive glass. But Pringle helped Arkansas get a little closer on that offensive rebound and dunk. That's what you brought him in for. Stay on that glass at both ends, defend, be an opportunistic scorer, lob passes off those hard rolls, off the screen game, out in transition. If you can get out in transition, he gets another defensive rebound. So 3 possessions in a row, 2 defensive, 1 offensive, 2 defensive sandwiched around an offensive possession. He's gotten 3 rebounds in a row. And then on the offensive end down here, after getting that dunk putback, he rolled off a 2-man game and got a pass and finished on a layup. So Arkansas is playing more like I wanted to see. Malik Thomas with a steal and a dunk. Wow, 82-51. That's all of a sudden a 31-point lead for Arkansas. So the headline I have pre-written for my tweet to tweet out a game article later was Arkansas, basically dismantled UCA, something like that. And I was going to have to change that, right, based on a 9-point halftime lead and the way this thing was cooking for a while. This may become a dismantling after all. And it's what's expected. But here late, I like the attention. You've got Ewan and Pringle on the court together. There's a little bit more attention to the finer points of playing in the paint, down low. And you want to see that on a night where you're going to take at least, you're up to 29 threes right now. I guess they're trying to keep pace with UCA. The Bears, poor Bears, 4 of 37. Arkansas, 12 of 29, 41.4%. The percentage is fine. It's just, who are you? Is this who you really are, Razorbacks? Seeley had an open 3. He did a pump fake. The defender was trying to close. He did a ball fake to freeze the defender, and he drove by him, got into the paint, and finished in front of the rim, and he'll have an and one. So I think there were plenty of opportunities in the first half once Arkansas started shooting threes to then the defense thinks you're going to shoot them. So do some of this. Do more of this. Good decision by Seeley. He's going to have a chance to pay it off with a free throw and extend that Arkansas lead to even greater heights here. Makes the free throw, gets the and one. Good play. Might be his best play so far in his young career. I know he scored double digits against Southern in the opener. He might do that again tonight. There's just under 5 minutes left. Arkansas's up 34, 85-51. Seeley defensive rebound. Transition outlet pass to Acuff. Defender was back and Acuff throws it down. Arkansas's getting the dunk party going. Just these last few possessions. Pringle, then Malik Thomas in transition. Now Darius Acuff. This is, more of what we want to see. This dominant, get out and run, playing more in the paint. I've described it all here recently. Give me more of that. Yeah, you took your 5 billion threes tonight. Good for you. And you made a good clip. I mean, you did. Can't say they haven't. How does everybody else feel about this? Why did TV not play tonight? Minor back spasms. That's the official answer. All right, someone Mitchell's asking me if they're lazy. The Hog Fan 40 ounce. Kentucky is getting dominated. So Louisville's handling. The last I looked at that, Louisville had an early lead. I mean, it was an early lead, so I haven't paid attention to anything since. UCA, Arkansas is now up 26, 87-51. Excuse me, 36, 87-51, and still just under 4 minutes to go. The next dead ball will be one more timeout, and then we can close the book on this one. Arkansas is going to dominate in the three-point makes. It's ironic because Acuff with a step-back three, it didn't go in. That got Arkansas, I believe, to 30 attempts. I guess they watched the show yesterday and said, oh, yeah, really? We can probably take 30 attempts and still blow this team out? Well, we'll prove that. They did it. They're doing it. The Arkansas now 12 of 30, right on the nose, 40% from three. As we go to this under 4 minute timeout, um, Arkansas now shooting 51% from the field, 30 of 59, 50.8%, 15 of 18 to the foul line. Arkansas has just a mixed bag, 86 plus percent against Southern on 29 attempts. Shot a lot more free throws than they did tonight. You're not going to shoot a lot when you're not playing inside and you're shooting a ton of threes, but 15 of 18, 83.3%. This needs to become the character of this team. So this efficiency numbers across the board look really, really good, and they've just gotten better as Arkansas's just really taking it to an outman team here. The other problem for UCA is they can't live in the paint, despite Arkansas struggles with some of the stuff. They can't live there because they are undersized, and that wouldn't have been a formula for success either. They're taking a lot of threes, still only stuck on 4 makes. They were 4 of 20 something at one point, so they have failed to hit a three in quite a while. They're now 4 of 37, 38, excuse me, 4 of 38, 10.5%. Oh, I'm right. They haven't hit a three in the second half. They're 0 of 15 from three in the second half. I knew it'd been a while. They were actually, so they were 4 of 23. Remember, I said they were 4 of 20 something at one point, so they've missed a lot since. And that's all the second half. 0 of 15. They're only 6 of 23 in this half. When you look at the total, they're 6 of 8 inside the arc. And they've gotten some putbacks on some of those misses from threes. But overall, shooting 18 of 62, 29%. Arkansas has been better at the foul line. UCLA only 11 of 17 at this point. We'll go through stats when the game's over. But the areas now where Arkansas is now +6. Just a moment ago, they were -4 in points in the paint. We told you 24 to 20. And then I started describing, okay, Arkansas is starting to go to work and play an interior game finally. So they're on a 10-0 run in points in the paint. They're now +6. They were -4. UCA stuck on 24 paint points. Arkansas's up to 30. Fast break, Arkansas swollen that up, +15, more than doubling up. UCA 27 to 12. Arkansas was -2 in the steals department at halftime. Now each team has 5 steals. Both teams have 2 blocks in the game. Not probably the strength of this Arkansas team is rim protection. Certainly when Trevor Brazil's not playing. But Arkansas was 17 assists on its 30 made field goals. So it's not like they haven't shared the ball, but most of those assists are just the next pass on the perimeter. Not really a shot creating kind of pass. And the guy you pass to takes a three. Arkansas shooting a high enough percentage where whoever made the pass to the guy that caught the thing and shot it, you get an assist for that. Those count, but the point is it's not the kind of assist night and the kind of number of field goals and makes that you were maybe expecting to see from Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas has, again, 31 attempts now. That's more than half of this total 60 that Arkansas has attempted from the field. The lead was what? Was it 87-51, I think, was the biggest lead. And now it's 87-53. I think UCA made 2 free throws. Ty Robinson tonight, 15 points for him. Good night for him. When you look at the tally there, 5 of 10 from the field. He didn't shoot well from 3, 4 or 5 at the line. He's got 5 rebounds. So good for the Lake Hamilton product. 6'4" guard. I've always liked Ty. Same with Cam Hunter. Tough. 6'3" physical. 16 points for Cam. 4 rebounds. Luke Moore's done some good things in this game out of Little Rock Central. He's got 5 points tonight and a couple of assists. Luke's dribbling right now as I watch. little sidestep 3 over, deep 2 over Seeley that didn't go in. Seeley in transition. Looks like he got fouled and be shooting free throws. Seeley tonight has 6 points. Pringle 9, Ewan 8. So Arkansas's big, 7 of 8 from the field. You just didn't play to him a lot. You didn't play through him much. Combined for 13 rebounds. I mean, Ewan and his 5 rebounds, that's about as good as he's been so far on the glass in the regular season. Mentioned Malik Thomas. He's up to 17 points. Acuff 21. Knox, finished with his double-double, 19 and 10. He's back on the court now with 2:30 to go. He just checked back in, but after he really kind of, he was the one I thought with that and one that really kind of put Arkansas, it moved it from that 11, 10, 9 point situation to 14 or 15. And it kind of was that first step, let's call it, to blowing the doors open here. Sealy misses the front end of the 1-and-1, I guess, or did he make one? No, he made the first, missed the second. Arkansas got an offensive rebound. Sealy ends up with an attempt from three in the corner that did not go down. Yeah, 2 minutes ago. I mean, it's academic at this point. Um, and I'm gonna run through, just gonna encapsulate what I saw tonight. We've said it over and over again like a broken record in here. Uh, Kentucky looks awful. This is college basketball. I thought Arkansas looked pretty bad in a lot of phases on the road, against Michigan State, but there were things Arkansas did well, and they stuck. They stuck in there. They had a chance to win in the end, despite some of the problems. You know, had a chance to win in the end, and that's all you can ask for. You'd like to have seen better performances from TB and Knox. You'd like to see better performance on the glass. Some of the blue collar stuff that some of their players just really came right at Arkansas, and Arkansas didn't respond to all that well at times. But Arkansas did some good things of its own, especially the first half, getting out in transition, knocking down some threes. If you're going to take them, you got to knock some down, or against an opponent like that, you might be a really long night. Second half, problematic, but Arkansas was close enough; it didn't matter. Arkansas's hit the 90-point mark here. 4 players in double figures now because Malik Ewan just hit 2 free throws. I will say this: Malik Ewan has been money at the free throw line when he gets opportunities. It's why you want him to be more of a presence down low, because he can score, he can pass, and if he gets fouled, then he's going to make free throws. He's the one big you can count on consistently doing it. At least so far, what we've seen, that's true. Luke Moore gets a little up and under, a little reverse layup. Good for the Little Rock Central product. True freshman at UCA. Arkansas back on offense with a minute left, up by 45, 90 to 55, 35 points. And then BR3 says, why not take a three? And he makes it. 93-55, Arkansas is close to that 40-point advantage. And that was the margin, by the way, that North Carolina defeated UCA in the season opener last week. Was a 40-point win. I think it was like 94-54. Right now it's 93-55. Let's see, Arkansas's got to stop. They got the ball on offense. Knox says one out on a three, misses. UCA rebounds. So Arkansas might have to settle for a 38-point win or less. They just fouled. They're going to be free throws for UCA. Either way, who cares? It's comparing scores. It might be over for some of you. Sometimes my stuff is way behind. So what'd you think? Everybody happier with the close of this game? Arkansas did show some paint presence at both ends. Nick Pringle not too far off from a double-double of his own tonight. 9 points and 8 rebounds. So it's 93-56. I bet that remains the final score here. Yeah, Arkansas's under the 30-second shot clock, just crossed midcourt after a made free throw. I'm going to let it dribble it out. 93-56 is the final score here. Not here. I'm in the 501. I'd planned to go to BWA tonight and had some family obligations that's keeping me in town both today and tomorrow. So we'll be back up Friday for the Samford game. But for certain, Arkansas needed a win. And I think there was a lot of fun had by all jacking up threes tonight. We've beat that to death, right? We've talked about it so much. Arkansas is now 2-1. UCA drops to 1-2. UCA scored over 100 points in its last outing playing Champion Christian College out of Hot Springs. It's not only is it not an NCAA school, it's not an NAIA school. It's in a Christian league. And I think the school's trying to petition to get certified to move up to NAIA. So, for what it's worth, UCA does have a win this year. Now 1-2 after getting blown out both by North Carolina and now Arkansas. Similar scores. Arkansas carried UCA, I thought, in that first half. I was really questioning decision making, the lack of interior play at both ends. And as this thing moved along, Arkansas was just fine settling for perimeter shots. And statistically, it was okay. 13 of 34 from three is the final number. So 38.2%. I mean, that's still a strong percentage. 31 of 63 overall, 49.2%. So Arkansas was actually 18 of 29 inside the arc. They just didn't take a lot, and they didn't really try to, again, establish dominance in that paint. I mean, if you go back, Michigan State was the complete opposite, right? 1 of 14 overall from three. Only took 7 in each half. Didn't hit one until the second half, and it was the only one they got. Every single basket that Michigan State scored after that, or aside from that 1-3, they had either one or both feet in the paint. No mid-range shots outside the paint between the line, deep mid or mid-mids outside the paint. Everything was paint. And most of it was at the rim. A few of them were like, 6-8 footers, but they were close range and they, effectively touching the paint there, at least 1 foot in. And so Arkansas could have had more of that tonight and opted, again, a different route. But you look at the free throws, 18 of 22. That's really good. 81.8%. Great on Arkansas there. The Bears, Arkansas's defense looks like it had a great game. 19 of 67. UCA missed a lot of wide open threes tonight. Arkansas wasn't always in the best position defensively. Didn't force a lot of turnovers until later in the game. UCA getting on the offensive glass more so than Arkansas. Too much of the theme there. But only 19 of 67 when the dust settles from the field, 28.4%. 4 of 41 from three. That's 0 of 18 in the second half. And so there were a lot of those were just, some of them just rimmed out and there was not a defender around a guy. So I'm not sure that that's great Arkansas defense, but you'll take it. I mean, that 9.8% on that many shots, when you look at it statistically, Arkansas is going to be one of the leaders in the country in 3-point field goal defense because, if you combine this 4 of 41 with Michigan State's 1 of 14, I mean, that's 5 of 55. That's insane. Arkansas is one of the elite 3-point field goal shooting defenses in the country. Based on what, I don't know, because both teams got open looks, they just didn't knock them in. So I'm not sure how much of that I credit to Arkansas, but I can't completely discount that. There's something going on there, right? Back-to-back games now of a combined 5 of 55. Then there's not an outlier there. Both teams were miserable shooting from three. 14 of 21 at the foul line, 2 out of every 3 attempts, 66.7%. So Arkansas better everywhere. When you look at it from that standpoint, when you drill down on the stats, turnovers, Arkansas, well, I've just screwed up my screen here. Thanks. Turnovers, Arkansas ended up even in that department. They were down 6-3 and doubled up, had twice as many at halftime. Then they had the first turnover. The second half was 7-3. We talked about that. After that point, Arkansas had only one more turnover and forced 5. Points all turnovers, still advantage UCA. I think they were 8-2 at one point, finished 11-9. So Arkansas got out in transition in that big run to push that lead way out. Some of it was getting in the paint on the half court. There was a stretch there where that was true finally. Not long enough for my liking in this game, but also they got out in transition after some live ball turnovers and got some finishes there. Total rebounds, Arkansas plus 14. All right, they were minus 12 against Michigan State. They were plus 7 at halftime. And so they did that again in the second half, plus 7 again for plus 14. Okay, that's part of the required work in this game. That was part of the homework that you should have been assigned, and I think they met that. But the offensive glass, again, yet another opponent gets double-digit offensive rebounds. When you're missing a ton of shots, especially a bunch of threes, some of those will be long rebounds. But with the game I saw, Arkansas was not competing for multiple possessions to close out a defensive possession. And UCA's players were moving to the ball. There were some of those were 50-50 balls to be had. Arkansas was flat-footed. There was a lot of that, but 10 offensive rebounds. Arkansas had 8. But +6, when you beat a team by nearly 40 and they're +6 and second chance points, 16-10, and they beat you on the offensive glass, every opponent, exhibition season, Cincinnati and Memphis, Southern, you beat that team by 32. Southern had double digits on the offensive glass in the rebound department, and was +1 in second chance points. So here's another opponent out of the bye game parade that got you there. I still think that's an issue, and I think, I think this may be part of just the problem with this team this year. I really thought the rebounding was going to be better with guys like Ewan and Pringle, and Pringle's lived up to it so far. Ewan, not so much. He's a strong offensive rebounder. He has shown us that, relative to how many rebounds he gets, most of them are offensive rebounds. Okay, good. But defensive rebounds is where Arkansas really needs to get better because they have some good defensive possessions. They don't close them out. And we're seeing every opponent now with double-digit offensive rebounds again. So let's move on from that. We beat that to death. Arkansas was behind in bench scoring in the first half, ends up +3 there, 20-17. Points in the paint, Arkansas ends up +4. Again, they were down. They were -4, 24-20. They scored 10 in a row, paint points relative to what UCA wasn't doing, and then it went to 30-24. And then UCA gets a late transition bucket. That counts as points in the paint. So it ends up 30-26 advantage Arkansas. The Razorbacks, masterful in transition relative to the opponent, 30-13, +17 there. Each team had 2 blocks. Each team had 5 steals. Arkansas, again, stuck on the 17 assists. On 31 made field goals. So you assisted on more than half of those makes. Some of that was late in the game when Arkansas finally started playing 2-man and getting it down low. Some of it was in transition. Some of it was in half court again, usually just making the routine next pass and a guy shoots a 3. When he made them, that goes to an assist to the guy that made the regular routine pass. So they count. That counts, but they weren't necessarily shot helpers, some of them. And so stats sometimes can be deceiving. I'll go back and watch the game. I'm not trying to criticize. I'm just saying I'm trying to see where this team is helping itself. And some of this stuff, I'm wondering still, are they getting it? Have they figured it out yet? I was thinking maybe on a quick turnaround after a road game against this level of competition, you just really try to send a power message. And it wasn't a power message. It was a different kind of message. And it was about talent and athleticism and length, winning out in the end. In Arkansas, you're not. It's not like UCA is going to get up into you defensively and have the bodies and the strength and the athleticism to really penalize you and force you to shoot threes. It was a choice. And so again, I've beat that to death tonight. We spent a lot of time. I've been on for over an hour now, and that's been kind of the thing. So we're going to wrap things up now. That's it. We're going to sign off. Arkansas with a big win, moves to 2-1. Just a reminder of the recruiting. The key updates are it's the early signing period. Starts tomorrow. It's a week long, November 12th through the 19th, Wednesday to Wednesday. Arkansas gets on the board officially tomorrow. J.J. Andrews, 5-star to Little Rock Christian Academy, 6'6" wing, committed to Arkansas in mid-May. He's got a morning ceremony. I'll be there. I'm going to try to stream that live. I'm going to try to do a HogvilleNET Hoops live, bringing you J.J. Andrews signing. Saturday, I will not be in Connecticut to do anything live, but Abdu Torre reached out to me today and said, hey, my signing ceremony is Saturday morning, so that's November 15th, kind of in the middle of the early period. And then again, Baba Aladdin, we reported earlier today, I got the information. He's going to make his commitment announcement. In fact, going to get it done early. We've been talking about that for a while. Sources, a couple of them think Arkansas is in the lead. I believe them. I've said for a while I think Arkansas is the leader. I'm on a scale of 1 to 10 as an 8, but he's going to get it done on the final day of the early period, the bookend Wednesday, November 19th. The competition, Kentucky, Maryland, Georgetown. If I was picking one of those as the team, if it's not Arkansas, it's probably Maryland. Close to home. They've upped the bag. That was another part of my more recent source information intel that I brought you. Every team, if you look at Abdu Torre's recruitment in Providence, J.J. Andrews in Missouri, and if you go back to previous recruits and cycles, the ones that Calipari's moved away from were when the bags were up to a place he didn't want to go. Some of them, like J.J. and Torre, when the bags were up, it wasn't enough to sway the player. And I can't say for certain that Arkansas didn't have enough wiggle room to stay competitive or be a little better. What I can say is I knew that the opposition had upped those bags, and it didn't matter. I think this probably plays out the same way. I've heard nothing to say, yeah, Maryland upped the bag, and by the way, now that's the team to beat. I don't have anybody telling me that. So the source that told me that much just said, hey, maybe they improved their chances. They upped it. He was on their campus for that Georgetown game on Friday night. Who knows? I mean, that's why I'm only at an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10 and not a 9.999 as it sits right now. But I'm still strongly confident that this is Calipari's to win in the end. With Torrey, it was always if Calipari wants to close it, it's his. This is a little different. Calipari's made it clear he wants this player. There's no questioning that, even before it got here toward the end and Calipari went back out to see him, which solidified that he probably closed the deal at that point. And now